Come in and have a little sip of coffee with me. Just a little cup of Tennessee coffee. Glad to have you with us this morning. My friend in Tyler, Texas, Brother Paul, he's responsible for this little statement, but I love it. He actually wrote a book on the title. But the title of the book and the statement that he made was, "On the way to retirement, something funny happened." I never told a lot of people about it, talked to my wife and family about it, but I turned 70 a while back and I planned to retire. I thought about getting one of those motorhomes and traveling all over the country preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ. I had all kinds of plans. I was going to do this, maybe head down to Panama City Beach and preach the gospel by the ocean. And we had all of these wonderful thoughts and ideas. But on the way to retirement, something funny happened. I learned I had stage 4 cancer in my bones and in my lymph nodes. Upside down, turn things upside down. I thought I could just, phase out, preach, do what I could do here, and wasn't intending to, pack up everything, but just I had wonderful plans. I was going to do this, that, the other, and it's time for a little change. The Apostle Paul was a man of passion, great passion. His passion was to see the gospel preached to the then known world. He had a passion to go to Bithynia. He was set on taking the good news to that particular city, just north to Bithynia. But God had different plans. You see, God had different plans for me. I thought I could go this direction and I could do this and this and this. And God says, no, I want you to do this, this, this. And the truth is, I've really never been happier at work than I am today. There are all kinds of opportunities opening for me. There's all kinds of opportunities to preach the gospel. And I'm just thankful sometimes for second choices. I'm grateful. In Acts chapter 16, verse 7, the Spirit of Jesus would not let Paul enter Bithynia. Instead, he was sent to Troas. He yearned for Bithynia, but he settled for Troas. Flexibility. There's a good word. Maybe we need more flexibility. But there are many accounts in Scripture where godly people had failed to get their first choice. Instead, they had to live with their second. Joseph, there's a tremendous example. Joseph, I'm sure he was satisfied as a teenager in his home in Canaan. But God had different plans. I want you to go to prison, spend some time in prison. And I want you to go and experience the Egyptian lifestyle and see how they do it. God had different plans for Joseph. Sarah wanted a baby for 9 decades. She lived with an empty cradle. Jacob, worked for 7 years for Rachel, and he got Leah. And then he had to work another 7 years. Moses was content with his life in Midian. Then he received his papers. Go west, young man. It's time for a change. Peter preferred a Jewish audience. Instead, he got Cornelius, a Gentile. Look at Acts chapter 8. Tremendous chapter. Look at Acts chapter 8 in the New Testament. Philip was doing a great work with the Samaritans. And there he was preaching the word. He was preaching the story of Jesus. And they paid attention to him. And there was all kinds of miracles. And the people were amazed. The good news was spreading. And men and women were being liberated. They were being baptized into Jesus Christ. There was a revival going on. They had to call Peter and John to come and help. Philip was told, pack your bags. Why? I got a man on the road, and I want you to take the desert road from Jerusalem down to Gaza. I got a guy there that I need you to. He's a very influential person. He's an Ethiopian eunuch, and he needs saving. I says, Lord, don't you see what we're doing here? Don't you see the work that we're doing here? Don't you see the success that we have here? And now you want me to take the desert road that goes south from Jerusalem down to Gaza. Ethiopian eunuch. So in verses 26 and following of Acts chapter 8, he goes and he meets the guys on a chariot reading scripture. And he asks the guy, do you understand what you're reading? He says, how can I understand? He's up into the chariot and he teaches him the story of Jesus. Jesus prayed for plan B, but he accepted the cross of Jesus Christ. You see, life is filled with the things. Life is filled with I want to go here, I want to do this, I want to do that. Maybe your marriage. You thought your marriage would bring happiness to you for the rest of your life. End up divorced. Remaining single and divorced. Bithynia is healthy children. Troas, barrenness and handicap. Bithynia, having children who live close to you. Troas, having children who move away and you never see them. Your Bithynia could be a date for homecoming. Troas, going by yourself, going alone. Sometimes we don't get first choices. Sometimes we have to settle for second, third, whatever. Far too many die outside their Bithynias, unable to live with second choices. Hemorrhaging inwardly, bleeding away. Wounded hearts, wounded spirits, never being satisfied, never being happy. Listen, we can survive. There is life even in Troas. And don't get paralyzed by rejecting your second choice. Let God empower you. Let God make a difference in your life. Act on the things that you can control. And stop fretting about the past and about the things you can't control. If you're single, be a ministering single. If you're a divorcee, be a ministering divorcee and help others who are going through divorce. And don't pout and don't withdraw and don't give up and don't walk away and don't give yourself another one of those little pity and self-pity parties, whatever you call them, in honor of me. Live life like God intended you to live life. Tom Sullivan makes me sick. Tom Sullivan, the TV personality. He was a wrestler. He was on the Olympic team. Way back, I can't even remember the year. But he was an author, a book writer. He was a jogger. He was a swimmer. He was a musician. He could play the guitar. He was a skydiver. He was a clinical psychologist. Makes me tired just thinking about the things he was. Makes me exhausted. Oh, did I tell you, Tom was blind. Didn't stop him as a 9-year-old boy trying out for a little league team as the pitcher. Blind, blind, blind. Let me tell you what I've learned. Stage 4 cancer. In my weakness, I have learned God's strength. When I'm weak, He is strong. When I'm down, He is up. When I'm tired, He is my strength. In my weakness, like Paul in 2 Corinthians chapter 12, my grace is sufficient for you. I have learned of God's strength. Trust Him. Trust Him. And don't quit. Thank you.